The NBA playoffs are the ultimate stage for basketball players to showcase their talent, and only the greatest players truly shine under the pressure. But unfortunately, some players fail to deliver when their teams need them the most. This article focuses on the players who disappointed in the 2024 NBA playoffs, crumbling under the bright lights and failing to meet the high expectations set for them. From underperforming superstars to those with hefty contracts who couldn't produce, let's dive into the players who left fans and their teams disappointed this postseason. 1. Russell Westbrook. A familiar story of playoff struggles, Russell Westbrook has long been a polarizing figure in the NBA. Known for his incredible athleticism and triple-doubles, Westbrook's regular season numbers have earned him a place in NBA history. However, when the postseason rolls around, his inefficiency often becomes glaringly evident. In the 2024 playoffs, Westbrook once again failed to perform when it mattered most. The Los Angeles Clippers faced off against the Dallas Mavericks in the first round, and Westbrook's performance was abysmal. Over the course of the series, he shot just 26% from the field and 23% from beyond the arc. His free throw shooting wasn't much better, at 61%. In total, Westbrook averaged just 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists per game, a stat line that was downright disappointing. He scored just 38 points throughout the series, but took 50 shots to get there, which sums up his inefficiency. For a player with a career full of postseason struggles, this was one of his worst playoff performances. He is a Hall of Famer based on his regular season achievements, but in the playoffs, he's been one of the least efficient scorers in NBA history. 2. Paul George. A superstar who vanished in the playoffs, Paul George has long been considered one of the league's top players, but his 2024 playoff performance left much to be desired. With Kawhi Leonard injured and unavailable for the Clippers, George was expected to step up and carry the team. While he had an incredible Game 5, scoring 33 points and hitting 7 of 10 three-pointers, the rest of the series was underwhelming. George averaged just 17 points per game in the series against the Mavericks, shooting 37% from the field and 28% from three-point range. For a player of his caliber, that's simply not enough. The Clippers were counting on George to be their superstar, and he failed to deliver consistently. His poor performance led to another round of criticisms, with fans revisiting his Pandemic P nickname from the 2020 bubble playoffs, which has haunted him ever since. 3. Tobias Harris. The overpaid disappointment. In 2019, Tobias Harris was awarded a max contract by the Philadelphia 76ers. At the time, it seemed like a good decision. He was a solid contributor to the team. However, the 2024 playoffs exposed just how far Harris had fallen short of the expectations placed on him, especially considering his hefty salary. Harris struggled against a depleted New York Knicks team in the first round. He was supposed to be the reliable third option behind Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. But instead, he was a liability on offense. Harris averaged just 9 points per game in the series, shooting 43% from the field and 33% from three. His worst performance came in the final game of the series, when he scored 0 points in 29 minutes of play. For a player making $39 million per year, that's unacceptable. Harris's disappointing performance, combined with the fact that the Sixers were eliminated in the first round, makes it likely that he won't be back with the team next season. His struggles only reinforce the idea that his max contract was a mistake, and his time in Philadelphia could be coming to an end. 4. Bradley Beal. A $47 million mistake. Bradley Beal's 2024 postseason performance was a disaster for the Phoenix Suns, and it might go down as one of the worst contracts in NBA history. Beal, who was the sixth highest paid player in the league, earned nearly $47 million in 2024. For that kind of money, you would expect him to be a superstar contributor in the playoffs, but Beal was nowhere to be found. The Suns faced the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round, and Beal was expected to help lead the team to victory. However, he shot just 43% from the field and averaged only 16 points per game. Even worse, his playmaking and defense were subpar. and his struggles continued through the series. In Game 4, Beal finished with only 9 points and 6 turnovers, a performance that will likely be remembered as one of the worst in recent playoff history for a superstar. Adding to the problem is the fact that Beal's contract still has 3 more years and $160 million remaining on it. Because Beal has a no-trade clause, the Suns are essentially stuck with him unless he agrees to a trade. The team's hopes now rest on Beal somehow rediscovering his form from his Washington Wizards days. But given his lack of production, it's hard to see how this trade can be salvaged. 5. Rob Pelinka, the general manager who failed the Lakers. While the players on the court often take the brunt of the blame, the Los Angeles Lakers front office also deserves some criticism for their disastrous 2024 playoff run. General manager Rob Pelinka made some questionable decisions that contributed to the Lakers' early exit in the postseason. Pelinka made moves that seemed good at the time, such as trading Russell Westbrook for Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, and D'Angelo Russell, which helped the Lakers reach the 2023 Western Conference Finals. However, he made a big mistake by letting key players like Lonnie Walker and Dennis Schroeder walk in free agency. Walker had been a pivotal part of the Lakers' success in 2023, including hitting a crucial game-winning shot against the Golden State Warriors. Schroeder, meanwhile, had proven to be an excellent defender and a fast, dynamic point guard who could excel in transition. Instead of bringing back these key pieces, Pelinka signed Gabe Vincent, who had a solid 2023 finals with the Miami Heat, but has not shown the same level of consistency. Vincent was a non-factor in the Lakers' playoff series against the Denver Nuggets, scoring just 7 points across 5 games, while shooting a dismal 25% from the field. Pelinka's failure to address the Lakers' needs, particularly at the point guard position, was a major reason the Lakers struggled in the 2024 playoffs. The Lakers were left with 2 point guards, D'Angelo Russell and Vincent, who simply didn't perform up to expectations. Pelinka's inability to make any moves at the trade deadline further cemented his role in the Lakers' early exit. 6. D'Angelo Russell, a no-show in the playoffs. D'Angelo Russell was expected to be a key contributor for the Lakers in the 2024 playoffs. But his performance was another major disappointment. In the regular season, Russell had solid numbers, averaging 18 points per game while shooting 46% from the field and 41% from 3. However, in the playoffs, his numbers took a significant dive. Russell averaged just 14 points per game in the series against the Nuggets and shot a woeful 38% from the field and 31% from beyond the arc. Russell's performance in Game 3 of the series was particularly abysmal. He finished with 0 points, missing all 7 of his shot attempts. This poor performance led to him being glued to the bench in the later games, and it seemed like the Lakers could no longer rely on him. Russell's lack of defensive impact and inconsistency on offense made him a liability, and it's likely that he's played his last game as a Laker. 7. Michael Porter Jr., a max contract disappointment. Michael Porter Jr. had a solid start to the 2024 playoffs, but his performance completely fell off in the second round against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Porter shot just 37% from the field and 32% from 3, averaging a mere 10 points per game. Despite his size, 6 feet 10 inches, Porter failed to provide the necessary rebounding and defense that the Denver Nuggets needed to advance in the playoffs. Porter's inability to perform in such a critical series was one of the key reasons the Nuggets were eliminated. His struggles were particularly painful for a player with a max contract, as his underperformance was a blow to Denver's chances of contending for a championship. 8. The entire Cleveland Cavaliers supporting cast. The Cleveland Cavaliers were expected to make a deep run in the 2024 playoffs, especially after Donovan Mitchell's stellar regular season performance. However, the team's supporting cast, Isaac Okoro, Caris LeVert, and Darius Garland, failed to step up when it mattered most. Mitchell had to carry the entire team on his back, and the lack of support from the others ultimately led to the Cavaliers' first-round exit. Okoro, LeVert, and Garland all struggled to provide consistent scoring, which severely hindered the Cavaliers' ability to compete. Their inability to step up in the postseason was a huge disappointment for a team that had high hopes for a deep playoff run.